Hey there, my little ghosts and ghouls. It's your favorite skelly friend, Tiffany from Tiffany Explains It All. And I want to ask you, have you ever had an idea for a Halloween costume that puts the fright in fright-tastic? Well, do I have the most bone-chilling segment just for you. Welcome to Hallow Illusions. We'll be getting some insight and asking some locals how they really get the masses howling at the moon. So, grab your favorite witch's brew and your favorite scary snack as we dive into this Casa de Trucos. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I'm so excited to work with you guys. Please tell the audience your name and what is some of your artistic talents.
Well, I'm Edwin.
And I'm Orestes.
And actually, I'm an art teacher. That's my job. That's my profession. But I do a little bit of everything. We both do a little bit of everything in terms of like painting, drawing, sewing, makeup, hair. So we cover like a little bit of everything in the arts. Orestes?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to bring all of the skills that we built over the years and put them into the costumes that we make every year for Halloween.
Oh, okay. So I guess to start our segment, what kind of started this whole Halloween tradition? Because you guys have been doing this, I believe, some years, gotten even some local attention.
Yes, almost 10 years, I would say. Almost 10 years. We met, and actually what started everything was my Edward Scissorhands costume. And I remember that summer we wanted to go to the Florida SuperCon, and I wanted to go compete. And we were kind of like getting to know each other in the like that year. And he was like, I would love to do your makeup. I would love to like see, I know I can do the makeup. And yeah, that's how everything started that year. And we went, I competed, and that day I won an award at the Florida SuperCon, which was super fun. And I think that like costume, makeup relationship, that's kind of like it all started that year. So
yeah, we had just known each other for about a month. And then he had approached me and said, oh, you know, I want to compete in SuperCon. Do you want to join me? I go, yeah, sure. And like he said, can I please do your makeup? And he was like, yeah, sure. So then that first day we got together and we made this magic of Edwin Scissorhands come to life. And then after that, we took every opportunity with Halloween to put our, have our...
explore something different.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much that's how everything started.
Wow.
To have fun.
But that's really interesting how you guys literally just met each other and that was like immediately like a bonding experience for you guys. And it like just went out of control. And I can only imagine with two artistic brains really goes up and beyond. There are no glass ceilings, I'm assuming, for this creative duo. Also, I wanted to ask you, when do you guys kind of come up with these ideas? You come up with these ideas closer to Halloween, or do you you think in the beginning of the new year, you're like, okay, what are we going to do for October?
Usually, I'm going to be completely honest with you, November 1st.
November, the day after.
The day after Halloween, we're exhausted. We are like, we cannot move. We're like completely, like going through the pictures. I'm like, oh my God, that was so cool what we did. What are we doing next year?
That first breakfast, we just sit down and we're like, okay, well, and then we usually also have like a list of ideas that we run throughout the year of like future ideas. But we start planning the costumes, actually like deciding and building sometime around July, August.
Yeah, always. It takes several months and it has a few stages. We can talk about it. But I wanted to tell you, even though we have a list and we have like every time we're like, oh, that would be a cool idea, add it to the list. Oh, that would be a cool idea, add it to the list. We always have a list of things, but we always kind of like also go with the flow. I remember COVID year, we had an idea. But everyone was talking about Jumanji, and everyone was talking. I'm like, oh, this is like the Jumanji year. Please stop playing Jumanji. What's going on with the world? So we were like, you know what? I know we had an idea. Let's forget about that. Let's do Jumanji. So we went with what was happening with the world. Like Jumanji was trending, so we're like, you know what? Whatever. Let's do Jumanji. So we always have that kind of like, yes, we have a list, but we also go with the flow depending on what's going on, if we feel comfortable, whatever, whatever happens. So
wow, I love that. I think when we think about like Halloween costumes, people are usually like very meticulous about a list. Like, okay, I have to do this at like precise precision, and like I can't derail. And which also leads up to our next question. What are some tips and tricks on making your own costumes? What are some things that you wish you knew when you first started doing this? And what would be some advice you would give to some of our new little ghouls that want to try this out?
Okay, well, I think my first tips and trick that I would offer would be, don't be afraid to try things out. Have the courage to try out whatever you want to try, even if it's a new technique or a new idea, and give yourself the space to experiment and have fun. But before that, what would you want to add to that?
I would say I think the beginning process of a costume or like a character, it's always finding something that you're passionate, like it's a character or it's a movie, it's going to be something that you really like, that you're passionate about. I've seen online a lot of people are like, oh, you need to pick a character that's going to be, it's going to match your body or your skin or your hair type. I don't believe in that. I think like there's space for everything. It doesn't matter if you look like the character or if you don't look like the character. As long as you're passionate about that character, you love it. Yeah. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter your race, your height, your body type. If you're passionate about it, go for it. I would say that is probably the beginning. I would say, don't be afraid. You're going to mess it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but also find something that you say, you know what? If I'm going to go through this, I'm going to go through this, and I know I'm going to love it because it's something that I'm really passionate about.
I love that. Also, I wanted to ask you, how many of your costumes are like from scratch, working from ground zero, or is there some pieces that you've upcycled or have gone to thrift stores and kind of like revamped to fit the costumes that you guys do throughout the years?
Well, it depends on the year. It depends on the costume, and every costume has different needs. But depending on the year, you might have it where you might thrift some more of the pieces, you might craft some more of it. Very rarely is it that it's completely made from scratch. There's always something that we can find that's store-bought.
Yeah, and I think also we always, that beginning process, we always have to consider time and money. Mm-hmm. Always. I think it's part of the equation when we're crafting something. How much time do we have? How much do we want to spend? All right. So I think we've done it all from just getting everything from the thrift stores and combining pieces and say, oh, I already have this. This looks really well. We can put it together. A good example about that was when we did Home Alone, the Wet Bandits.
We did very confident when I think a lot of people locals know you for that one.
So we did the Wet Bandits. We got featured in the
Miami Herald. Yes.
Yeah. We got featured there. So, but that whole costume was all thrift store. Like we got everything: the coats, the scarves, the vest, the pants, everything, and it worked out really, really well. Like we loved it. And then we have other costumes that we completely craft, and it's kind of like we go all out, because it's either we craft it or we have to pay someone else to actually make that piece. So we take on the challenge. But it's a combination. We have years that we have to do everything from scratch. We have other years that we upcycle things, or we just put it all together using like thrift stores, different things. It's just a combination.
And do you guys also make like props for your Halloween costumes as well as part of like that process? Do you guys like upcycle things that you have around or go to the thrift store, or also, again, starting something from scratch?
Oh, for sure. We have everything from thrifted and then upcycled, completely created from scratch. We have it where sometimes if you can just find it in the store, you find it at a thrift store exactly how it is, it's even better. For the Back to the Future, we had an 80s type camcorder that we had to source, and it was hunting through different thrift stores to find it, and then finally we had to paint it and add different things to it to actually get it to where it had to be.
Yeah, it was kind of like completely black, and when we saw it, I was like, it's a great like camcorder from the 80s. We found it, but it doesn't have the colors, it doesn't have the mic the way it should look. So we put it like kind of like we put it apart. We painted it with the red, and then we like assemble the camera again. We put the mic. So it's kind of like not being afraid. And if you see an item, I'm like, yeah, that has potential. I know I can either paint it or add something on the side or something else. Same with when I did the Joker for Batman Villains one year, and getting that leather hat was so expensive. It was like that's completely out of our budget. So that hat was that purple hat. It was really online. We were like, okay, getting a leather purple hat, it was really expensive. So we decided to go to a department store, and we ended up spray painting it, and it worked out. So in terms of props and accessories, it's always a challenge, but it's fun. It's a fun challenge to be able to find the right thing or the right piece that's gonna go well with your costume.
Oh, nice. And I know this answer already, but just because we're in this setting, why or what made you guys film the process of not just the final result of like the photos and the film? Because that, again, I may have fangirled a little bit and looked through your stuff because it's so amazing. Like you literally look like the characters. I'm like, wow. Like,
well, that's all Orestes. Like I think he can explain better because I love taking pictures of the process. But I think one year we started like recording, and he's like, I think we should document this. And that's why he loves video and documenting things. Sometimes I get too focused on crafting. And I'm there crafting, and he's the one who usually takes video. Yeah,
videotaping while crafting has its challenges, but as we were doing all this work, once the costumes were done, everyone kept asking, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? So taking video and documenting it all has been a really fun way to encapsulate basically the entire work that we do over the course of 3 months. And it's really great because then we get to share with anybody that's willing to watch it all of the interesting things that we do to get something from where we purchased it or where we sourced it or where we crafted it to where it looks for the final result.
For instance, when we did the Vincent van Gogh costume last year, a lot of people thought that was made, everything was kind of like Photoshop. Like it was kind of like...
Yes, but because you guys look like the painting. I was like, how are you doing that?
People thought that it was just like I had done like my face with makeup, and it was kind of like superimposed on like digitally. And through the video, people were able to see the background, the clothes, and they're like, oh my God, okay, it's you guys painted everything. It was like a whole kind of like art installation with it, where everything is painted.
Yeah.
So where kind of like the painting came to life. So I'm so glad that we've been kind of like documenting the process, because it shows how we did it. Same with Back to the Future. We had the DeLorean, we had the car, we did all the photo shoot, and people thought that, again, it was all Photoshop, or like we had the car. I'm like, no, we got the car, we went to the shopping center, we went to the JCPenney, and we did it, that way. So having the video, it's always helpful just to see the whole, and to us too, go back and be like, oh.
And I mean, I'm going to ask you, but I mean, it sounds like you guys, handle a lot on this ship of like artisticness, but do you guys also have like friends or other artists that help you in the process, or is it just like you two just do everything yourselves? That like
well, with the crafting and everything that we do here, it's always the two of us. When it comes to hair and makeup, he takes over like pretty much all that department. Yes, he crafts, he paints, he does, and I can do a little bit of hair or helping him out with those things, but he really takes, like, he does all the research with that. I do pretty much a lot of the sewing when it comes to like constructing or like garments or like making alterations. It's all the two of us. But yeah, we have friends that are very creative that they help whenever we have to take pictures. They assist, they're here like photographing and they help out, or like a little bit of behind the scenes. But when it comes to the actual crafting, it's all between the two of us.
The crafting process is us, and then we have a great team of friends that help us whenever we can if we want to do a photo shoot, or like, hi, can you please come be what we call our wrangler? So that way, because when you're in costume, you sometimes are very limited in movement.
That is very...
When we went to the mall, this is a really fun experience. When we went to the mall to do Back to the Future in front of the JCPenney, we were going to have I think probably two friends. One to do pictures, another one that was gonna do behind the scenes, and we ended up having
it was a team of 8 people in total.
So it was like you guys were you were filming something for a commercial or something, especially with you had the DeLorean episode.
Yeah, the DeLorean. Yeah, we had that, and a lot of people were like, I want to be there. Oh no, I want to be there. I want to be there. What can I do? And they really wanted to help and be there, So that was really special. And even the security
guard is driving by and he's like, are you guys shooting a movie? And we're like, no.
And you guys look awesome. And we're like, oh, thank you. Sorry. And we're like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have friends that really support us, but when it's crafting time, everyone knows oh, it's October. Edwin and Orestes are
they're hibernating. They're conjuring up something new this year. We don't know yet. They're conjuring something up. I love that. So I guess I'm gonna ask because I want to get the insider scoop. What's your theme for this year? You guys have something already kind of in the works, an idea?
Well, we can't give away too much, but we will say that it is revolved around nature, and we are bringing a new element this year, which is we're bringing an international travel element into our work. Can't say what, and you have to tune in, and we'll put a link below. I don't know wherever that may be, but we'll help you figure that out once it's done. But it's really all about travel and Halloween. It's the first time that we're combining two together.
Where we celebrate life.
Yes. Ooh, love that. Yes, okay. Yes. Well, thank you so much for answering my questions and just agreeing to be doing this.
Very good.
No, thank you. This was so fun. You don't get an opportunity to talk about something that you love to do every year, so it's really a treat to have you here and just be curious about us.
Yes, and I think this is also going to help a lot of newbies of getting their first start into.
Yes, if I have to say I would like to tell people that really want to explore Halloween, just don't be afraid. Honestly, this is just fun. I know we love the arts and we love researching and doing this, but in the end we also fail. We also have to start again, and just don't be afraid. Do a little bit of research. Go online, find people that have done it before, resources. There's a lot of information out there, and just have fun and go for it, And every year you learn, you get better at it, and it's so much fun. In the end, it's just so much fun.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with me and answering my questions and telling us more about your craft, who you are as people, giving us some advice. And we look really forward to what you have in store because it's international waters. So I'm expecting a very big production. I'm sorry.
You have to wait and see.
But thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this interview. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's what I call a wicked flair. I hope this has inspired all of you who've been watching and given some encouragement for our most shyest of ghostly friends. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Tell us what's your favorite Halloween costume you've done in the past and what gets you into the spooky season. Remember, it's not about how you start the journey, it's having the courage to just do it yourself. And don't forget, we're gonna keep a link so that way you guys don't miss out on the very spectacular Halloween surprise our guests have in store for us. I'm very excited, and I'm sure you are too. Now, don't forget, there's nothing to be scared about, because it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus. Bye!